A question that I get a lot is, hey G, I don't know what business to start. And yes, I completely identify with that question. However, in 2018, there are some small businesses that you can start right from your house that don't necessarily require a whole bunch of capital or a whole bunch of equipment, that you can start and build and scale very, very profitably. And in this video, we're going to be talking about 7 of those. Hey there bosses, Jean Entre here. If you are new to this channel, on this channel we talk about freelance business and how you can use that to create more freedom and family time. If that sounds like your cup of tea, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. So a lot of people think that in order to start a small business, you need a whole bunch of money, you need a whole bunch of capital. And actually, I got into this conversation with somebody one day and she was like, no, you need a lot of money to start a business. I'm like, no, you don't. And there are a lot of businesses that you can start today, just having a computer and an internet connection that will allow you to reach clients all over the world. All right, and I want to share some of those businesses with you because no matter where you live in the world, you can do these things. As a matter of fact, I've had people reach out to me and say to me, hey G, I live in Africa. I don't know if this, what you're talking about in your videos, is going to be possible, but I say it's possible as long as you have a stable internet connection. And now it's such that even in a lot of developing countries, internet has improved a lot over the years. I grew up in West Africa and I left about 15 years ago. And even then, when I was leaving, you could go to internet cafes and get access to reliable internet. And I know from talking with my family members that still live there that they do have access to modems and Wi-Fi devices that you can buy from companies there. So as long as you have a stable internet connection, you can do a lot of this stuff. And some of them, you don't even need an internet connection at all. All right, so let's jump right into them. Number one is writing. All right, a lot of folks think that in order to write, you have to be a naturally gifted writer, and I think that there plays, there's a role that is played into that, because the only subject that I always joke and say, the only subject that I got A in from kindergarten till high school and even college was English. All right, all the other subjects were variable. So I've always been good at English language and always been good at expressing myself and writing. And so that comes to me really, really naturally. And so when the opportunity came for me to build my business as a writer, it was easy. It wasn't such a hurdle. But even if you don't think that you're so great at writing, and this is not just even with English, any language really, even if you don't think you're so great at writing, it takes practice. And so I'll say, keep on practicing. So you can really build a business around writing. And this doesn't just involve writing for clients. It could be writing books. These days, you do not need a publisher in order to publish a book. You can self-publish books yourself. And if you use tools like Amazon Kindle or Kobo Writing Life, you can actually research keywords and find out and really get into the meat of it, so that you can create books that people are looking for and which eventually will get bought. And so I think that whether it is writing for clients, whether it is writing your own books, whether it's ghostwriting is where you write for people but your name is never presented on that piece of content. I've done that a lot. You write and you give it to them and you never disclose that you are the writer. Writing really is a viable business that anybody can start in 2018. Number two, you probably already know what I'm going to say, social media management. There are companies, there are individuals out there that want to be on social media, that want to market their businesses on social media, but they don't have the time and they don't have the expertise to do it. And so they need somebody that knows how to do it, somebody that can help them grow their following, somebody that can create posts for them, somebody that can post daily for them. If you are somebody that already likes to play on social media, then I think social media management is a great tool for you to be able to build a business. All that it requires is that you will need what? A cell phone. Most people are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. All of these social media platforms have apps. As long as you have a cell phone that has internet connection that has Wi-Fi, you can do this. Of course, you'll need tools that are schedulers, something like Hootsuite or Buffer or Planoly. As long as you have access to these schedulers, and all of these schedulers have some free versions, especially Hootsuite and Buffer. Both of these have free versions that you can use to schedule our content. But what I did when I used to do social media management was that I actually bought the software. I ended up buying the software because it was important, and the people were paying me anyway. So I'd factor that into the cost of how much I was charging them, and then pay for that piece of software so that I could schedule content out. And the beautiful thing about Hootsuite or Buffer is that you also get analytics. And so one of the things that is important when you're doing social media management is to be able to show your clients that, hey, this is how much we grew in this month. And even though all the social media platforms do have inbuilt analytics, you can use tools like Hootsuite and Buffer and some of the other tools out there to measure analytics, to measure how well you are handling their social media, so that you can show them that what you're doing is effective. 3 is photography, and I love photography because now we have Instagram, which is such an excellent place for you to showcase your photography. And so if you like taking pictures, and the beautiful thing too is that in 2018 we have access to the best cameras that have ever existed in history, literally. And some of us have those cameras on our cell phones. And so some of you could be going out there and using your iPhone. Of course, you want to look professional, so you may want to go to a place like OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace or something like that, and find a cheap DSLR camera that gives you better quality on pictures, so that you can use that to start taking pictures. But that is something that you can easily market, especially with the advent of Instagram and even a platform like Pinterest. You can really showcase your work in a big way with these platforms and market your business. As a matter of fact, recently I wanted to take some profile pictures, I wanted to take some photos, and so I saw somebody who was local to me who had taken some pictures on Instagram, and I immediately clicked through her website, through her profile, and went to her website. And so I didn't know this person from Adam, but I was just looking at her photos on Instagram, and I was like, wow, these are so gorgeous. I would love for her to take my photos. Number 4 is videography, and this is where you are creating videos for people, and you could be creating videos for people's weddings, people's christenings, people's birth videos. People are doing video for everything now. I know even on YouTube there is some need for people that the other day I saw this YouTube channel where they were doing cinematic vlogging, and what they're doing is that they're creating like movie quality vlogs. So they have somebody that's filming for them, and of course that I don't know how you would find that job, but that's also available. People's businesses need videos so that they can do TV ads. And so if you are somebody that is good at taking video, and especially good at editing video, because all the magic really happens when you edit. That's when you can play a lot of camera tricks and do a lot of things. And I have to give a shout out to Filmora, which I personally use to edit my videos. They have an amazing YouTube channel where they show you how to do all these camera tricks, and I was blown away by some of their content on there. So completely check them out. I'm going to leave their link below. 5 is tax prep, and this is especially for my people in the US. We know that at the end of January to the middle of April every single year, we have what we call tax season, and people need people to file their taxes for them. And so if you're somebody that is already good at numbers, maybe you took accounting classes at school, this is something that you can totally build a business around. In fact, I knew this guy when I lived in Philadelphia who worked in a bank, and I think during one tax season he talked about how he made $15,000 just in those few weeks from doing taxes for people. And so it is completely possible for you to build a whole business around taxes, and not just during tax season, because a lot of businesses do file quarterly taxes. And so they'll file taxes, I think, at the end of March, at the end of June, somewhere in September, and also like at the beginning of the year or somewhere in December, people will be filing quarterly taxes. And so this is something that you can totally make into a whole business and do all throughout the year, because yes, there are people who are doing taxes all throughout the year, and it doesn't have to be confined to tax season. Number 6 is becoming a data scientist or an independent data scientist. One of the things that I personally have realized as I've looked on places like Glassdoor and other career search sites is that a lot of people are looking for people with skills in data science. And what is that? If you're conversant with R or Python, these are programs that you can put numbers into, create algorithms for, and generate a whole bunch of data, analyze a whole bunch of data. And a lot of scientific institutions, businesses and such are looking for people that have this experience. And as a matter of fact, I remember, in working at the university, there were people that we would pay $200 an hour to analyze data for us using R and Python and some other data science languages. And so if you're somebody that is good at that stuff, that is something that you could independently contract work from even universities, all right, to do for them, because a lot of people are looking for that information. I think in some cases it's called bioinformatics or informatics, whatever the field is, it is number crunching, it is data science. And if you have those skills, you can set yourself up for a lot of success. Last but not least is graphic design. Even though we now have access to tools like Canva or Pixlr or PicMonkey, which has made creating graphics so easy for lay people, there is still the need for graphic designers, professional graphic designers who know how to balance colors, who know how to create graphics that catch the eye. Because even though I've been using Canva for years now, sometimes I'll create a graphic and I'm like, man, that does not look so great. And then I'll look at somebody that created another graphic and I'm like, my goodness, like, we're using the same colors, we're using the same images, but they're so skilled at what they do. And so there is still a market out there for graphic designers. And if you want to start a business in graphic design, it is completely possible for you to get started with it. One of the things that you have to realize is that you don't have to be an expert when you first get started. You can learn each one of these skills. I really do believe in being able to learn a skill, being able to practice it, and then ultimately profit from it. So don't shrink away if you're like, oh, I don't know how to write I don't know how to do social media, I don't know how to do graphic design. These are all skills that you can learn. And one of the things that super successful people do is they're always open to new learning experience. They're always open to learning new things. And so if you are open to learning new things, you can learn any one of these skills that I shared with you in this video and begin to market yourself as a business owner. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and here are 2 more videos for you to watch.